Now it's time to start piecing Unit A, and I'm starting with my Group 2, but you can start with Group 2 or Group 1. When you saw the video in Lesson 1 about marking the dashed lines on the back, here I've marked these lines, and this is what it looks like. These are all of the dashed lines are marked on the back side of the paper, which is the clean side or the unprinted side. And I found the best way to mark these was to just do all the parallel lines like this first, and then turn it this way, and then do all of these lines next. That way you're not going back and forth as you mark your lines. As far as marking lines is concerned, if you are new, you might want to mark at least the first 2 or 3 just to get used to it, and you will see I've marked the first 3, and you'll see how the lines are used in the video. And then if you try it and you're having problems lining up your fabrics and you're having to rip out because they're not lined up correctly, you might want to mark a few of them just to try them out. So it's totally up to you at this point. I wanted to add too that these pieces are quite large, and they can be very cumbersome to use, especially in the beginning when we're doing the first 3 or 4 sections. The paper will be flopping everywhere, and you're going to have to turn it, and don't get frustrated by it, because that will pass. And when you start adding these bigger pieces, and as the paper gets a little heavier with all the fabric sewn onto it, it gets way easier than it is right now. So the few sections you do in the beginning are going to be I won't say the hardest, they're going to be the most cumbersome to do. What I'm going to do in this demo is demo the first 3 sections, first 3 or 4 sections of the first 3 papers, because then everything else will follow, and if you get confused, you can just rewind and watch it again on that part. And section 1 is always done differently than all of the other sections. There's a little more, there's 1 or 2 more steps for section 1 because you have a fabric you have to glue onto the paper. What we're going to do first is we're going to glue section 1, the fabrics in section 1, onto the bottom, the back side of each paper. Now keep your papers in order. So this is my Group 2 and paper number 1, and then 12 is at the bottom. We're going to take the paper off of section 1. There's no markings on here that we need, so we can put that to the side. The top one in this stack is fabric number 1, so fabric 1 goes to paper 1, fabric 2 goes to paper 2, and so on. Now we don't want to get these mixed up, and the first section we always turn it over with the wrong side up, because we're going to glue the wrong side to the back side of the paper, like that. So remember I said that Group 1 is different from all the others, and this is one of the things that's different. So we flip this over, and if you will look at this diamond shape here in section 1, you see it's the same diamond shape as this. What we'll do, we're going to turn this over, and since I marked it, I can see my diamond shape here. And I'm going to take my glue and put a little smudge of glue on it, and keep your glue on there and then pick up the paper. It's easy to do that way. Now we're going to try to align this on top. This one's a little bit harder to see because usually it's at the section 1 is at the end or something and you can see it, but this one is not. So what we're going to do, I've got it glued where I think it should be. I'm going to put my template on one of the lines, and I lift it up and I can see there's fabric underneath. And if I do that to the other ones, there's fabric. I do that to this one up here, there's fabric. And over here, fabric. Okay? And you don't really need to use the template. You can use your fingers just the same, and it's a little bit faster. Okay, so we know that's ready. And then take the next one. Remember to flip it over so the right side is up, and we're going to put it right on top of this. Now if we cut out our papers relatively even, we can simply turn this over, look at our diamond here, take our glue, glue it down, pick it up, and match the paper. So I'm not even looking at the fabric at this point. I'm matching the paper. I'm just stacking paper on top of paper. And you can fold this back and see, yes, there's plenty of fabric. Yes, there's plenty of fabric. And there, and there. Okay, let's do the next one. Turn it over, wrong side up, and place it right there. Turn this over. Glue, pick it up, and then just line it up with your other paper. And always do a double check. It's easier to check than it is to rip out. Takes a little extra time, but when you have to rip out, it takes a lot of extra time. And then the next one, wrong side up, and I'm matching up all of these lines here so I can get it even, and then glue. Turn it over and glue. Now this one's not marked, and line it up. Now go through the entire stack and until all of them are done, and you have number 12 at the top.